but it's just that sometimes he looks at me like he's not really seeing me. Like he's seeing the person he hopes I will be. Oh, I wish Daddy were here.
Honey, this was not his department.
Then you tell me what to do.
I can't, Amy. You have to figure this one out for yourself.
I just can't imagine a time when I didn't love him.
You've only known him for a year.
Spiritually, Mother.
Oh. Well, then you should probably listen to that feeling.
You're right. I know you're right. Do you have a quarter? Oh my God. Dad, go.
Okay, this book is called Everybody Poops.
Everybody, what?
Poops!
I thought you were doing The Secret Garden.
I changed my mind.
Well, you could combine them. How about Everybody Poops in the Secret Garden?
Go brush your teeth, Lauren. You're late. She's going to repeat that at school.
So what? Her teacher's a major stick-up.
This is not New York City.
Oh, here we go.
Everyone knows us here.
You mean everybody knows you here?
And you're not a corporate lawyer anymore. You're a judge. In your position, you're subject to scrutiny.
Well, I could use a little scrutiny. I live with my mother. I don't have sex. I carpool.
You're separated.
Ma, it's practically the 21st century. The fallen woman stigma does not apply anymore. Does it?
It's family court. You're dealing in custody, neglect, broken homes, that kind of thing.
When Michael and I were together, that's when our home was broken.
Did I say you?
Oh, come on, Ma. You were a social worker. You saw what a real broken home looks like. How can you compare it?
I'm not saying that. Just don't go advertising your marital status for a while.
Could this talk have been better timed?
Good as new. Your Honor.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
I'm not sure I can make that happen.
I was under the impression this was my office.
Give me a second. Okay, but this is the last revision I'm making. You've been punishing this docket all morning. I know you owe me. I'm Bruce Van Exel, your court services officer.
Oh, hi. I'm Amy.
Here's your docket. They front load you, nothing I can do.
Front loaded.
All the big cases up front. Orders by the presiding judge. Water?
Sure.
Room temp or ice?
Room temp, I guess.
One more thing. You have a problem with me not being a woman.
Not if you don't.
They'll come get you when it's time.
Judge is here.
Oyez, 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 the Honorable Superior Court within and for Hartford County is now open and in session at this time. All persons having cause or action pending or having been summoned are bound to appear therein and give their attendance according to law. The Honorable Amy Madison Gray presiding. Be seated.
Okay, then. Who wants to go first?
Morning, Your Honor. Franklin Dobbs, Assistant Attorney General. This is the mandatory hearing on the OTC Judge Vine gave last week. Would you like everyone to identify themselves for the record?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that.
I'm representing the petitioner, Department of Children and Families. This is Lena Railsback, DCF social worker.
Donald Kieran, representing the child, Angeline Kivett.
Where's the mother?
Not here, didn't show up.
Is she sick?
More like missing.
I see. Where's the child in question?
Your Honor, first let me say what a privilege it is to work with you. I put in many years in the trenches with your mother.
Thank you. The child?
4-year-old Angeline was found wandering around in the street in front of her mother's apartment at 3 o'clock in the morning. When the police entered, they found the mother passed out. The boyfriend was flushing contraband down the toilet. DCF was called. The judge ordered an ex parte OTC. The mother went inpatient. The child was placed in EFC. We recommend sustaining the OTC at this time.
What do you mean by that?
Which part?
All of it?
The mom went to rehab. The kid's in foster care.
Thank you. Where's the father?
Not in the picture.
Excuse me?
The mom says he's non-functioning, has had no contact with the child since birth, which is why we don't view the father's guardianship as a viable option.
Because of what the mom said. The mom who passed out on drugs.
The father should be defaulted. He's been served a summons and he hasn't appeared.
Where was the summons served?
At his last known address.
So there's a chance he didn't receive it?
There's a slight chance.
Okay, well, let's serve another subpoena and let's put it directly in his hands this time. How does that sound? I'd like to schedule another hearing for the day after tomorrow. And I'd like to talk to DCF about the OTC, and I'd like to talk to the DAD. The dad.
Whatever you say, Your Honor.
I'll let him know.
Okay. What's next?
Your daughter threw up.
What?
The principal called. Your mother's not reachable. Should I send someone from the court?
No, of course not. I'll go. Can I do that?
You can call for a recess.
Right. I'll call a recess.
How long?
20 minutes.
Court's recess, 20 minutes.
Please don't panic.
Where were you? The school said they couldn't find you.
What happened?
She threw up.
Only once, and it wasn't chunky.
I was gardening. I thought I'd hear the phone.
Where's the cell phone that I gave you?
I raised 3 kids without a cell phone, thank you.
Okay, Ma, okay, it's no big deal. Hey, can you go upstairs and put yourself to bed? Okay.
You left the bench for this?
I took a 20-minute recess.
Was that necessary?
What are you gonna have me do, Ma? Leave her alone in the nurse's office playing solitaire for hours until it's convenient for somebody to pick her up?
That happened once.
I had a locker in that nurse's
I
office.
did the best I could.
I know, Ma, I know. And so am I.
Backpack.
You're in a big hurry.
You won't believe this, but I'm on my way to court. I'm a judge, juvenile court. It's my first day.
I know who you are, Miss Gray.
You do?
Sheriff's office worked on a lot of cases with your mother.
You did?
And she gave us a call, told us to keep an eye out for you. Worried you were driving too fast. Turns out she was right.
My mother called the cops on me.
Didn't want to see you wrapped around a tree. Can you blame her?
Give me the ticket.
No, ma'am. That won't be necessary.
I want the ticket.
I just want to escort you to the courthouse.
Well, that will not happen.
Yes, ma'am. I'm afraid it will.
Bruce, you want not believe what happened to me on my way back here.
Judge Gray, there's somebody in there.
In my office?
Chambers.
In my chambers?
Jack Overby from the AG's office. He's the supervisor of all AAGs.
Yeah, I know who he is. Did it occur to him to make an appointment?
I wouldn't ask.
Well, I have to be back in court.
They're running late. You have a few minutes.
Ah, Judge Gray. Jack Overby. Sorry to drop in on you like this.
Oh, it's all right.
Well, no, it's not. But I'd heard so many good things, I wanted to welcome you on your first day.
Good things already. All I did was park in my assigned space.
You've done a lot more than that. It's not lost on anybody in my office what a sacrifice you've made. And this is the hardest work there is, and you don't get rich doing it.
Is this a pep talk?
No. It's personal admiration, rather awkwardly stated. So, want to welcome you. If you need anything, don't hesitate to ask.
An electric pencil sharpener would be nice.
Ah, women. So demanding. Good afternoon, Judge Gray.
Thank you, Mr. Overby.
My client is a straight C student who helped support his mother with a part-time job. Now, this was a second minor offense, and I really feel that juvenile detention at this point is an extreme measure.
Your Honor, he pulled a knife on a teacher.
A Swiss Army knife.
Well, an army knife this time, an automatic weapon next time.
That's a hyperbolic knee-jerk projection.
I'm sorry, is school violence on a downswing?
Your Honor, we do not send children away based on national trends and hypothetical situations.
I ain't going to no detention.
Continuance, Your Honor?
Good idea.
Skywalker is not a real person. Though, in a sense, he is every person. He's a prototype. Or as Carl Jung would say, he's an archetype. He's part of the collective unconscious. Follow me?
You called the cops on me.
Randy is not like a cop, he's like a friend.
With a badge and a gun.
I was concerned. I'm sorry, it won't happen again.
Well, it's good to hear.
How do you like Hartford, Lauren? It's better than New York, isn't it?
No.
Sure it is. You can have a big front yard like this in Manhattan.
That's a great thing about Uncle Peter. He gives you the question and the answer.
Well, I can always visit the city. It's not that far.
There's nothing in Manhattan you can't find right here in Hartford.
Exactly. Crime, poverty, unemployment.
Yeah, you'd know about unemployment.
I have a job.
Well, the point is, Amy and Lauren are both stressed out in the city.
Well, they're obviously happier in Connecticut.
Why are they talking about us like we're not here?
Because it's a family tradition, sweetie.
I want to hear about Amy's first day in court.
Yes.
Who was there from the Attorney General's office?
Some guy named Dobbs.
He's a punk. Who was there from DCF?
Lena Railsback?
Lena, she's the absolute best.
I'm not sure all the bases were covered on this one.
Sure they were.
Funny, I didn't see you in the courtroom.
I know Lena, she's thorough.
Well, she failed to locate the father.
If she can't find him, he can't be found.
You can't just make an assumption like that.
Excuse me, miss, 5 minutes on the bench.
How can you say that to me?
You're a corporate lawyer. Suddenly you're the expert.
Well, I didn't win the judgeship in a raffle.
Well, not far from it.
Excuse me?
A friend from Harvard puts your name in. That's the next best thing, eh?
The Bar Association approached me. I didn't go looking for this job, and then I spent 6 months of my life working my ass off trying to qualify.
Wow, 6 whole months.
Stop fighting. I want to eat.
And besides, in order to have friends from Harvard, you have to get into Harvard. Don't you?
This is what we call middle-class angst.
That's Daddy! Hello? Daddy, I knew it was you.
So how's the in vitro going, Jillian? Did it take this time?
We're eating dinner.
Excuse me.
Mother?
Well, she's never been shy about it before. I know more about her ovaries than I do my own.
Mommy, Daddy wants to talk to you.
Hi. How are you? You know, first day.
Lauren, come taste this chicken.
Oh, it was weird. All these people looking at me, expecting me to know stuff. Wednesday. I thought we talked about the weekend. No, Michael, I don't think it's a good idea. Because I have my swearing-in thing. Why do you want to be there?
Mom, he's invited.
I'm gonna call you later. Okay?
Mom, can he still come?
You sure can clear a room.
It hasn't worked on you yet. Let me do that.
I can handle it.
Please, there are noise ordinances around here.
You're one to talk. Inviting my ex-husband to the swearing-in ceremony. What the hell were you thinking?
The official ceremony is a very big deal. It will be in the papers, and besides, he's not your ex-husband yet.
Oh my God, it's the photo op.
Your job is inherently political. You
Well,
have to face
eventually
that.
people are going to figure out that I'm not living with my husband.
And by then you will be established and accepted. Besides, anything can happen.
We're not getting back together.
Don't be so sure.
It's not going to happen, Ma. We've been through this.
No, we haven't. You never told me why you broke up.
Because it's complicated.
Well, was he drinking? Was he cheating? Was anybody getting beat?
Yes, you nailed it. And he was a cross-dressing serial killer.
Maybe I'm not an expert on divorce. But when it comes to the judicial system, I do have a clue. I was a social worker for 28 years, and you could do worse than to listen to me.
She's asleep.
She doesn't want me to talk to her?
No, she's not interested. But she says that she loves you, but she's not in love with you. No, that was another conversation.
Fine, I'll be in my room. Wake me when she's grown.
No. It's a very bad idea to drink alone.
Well, it's either that or matricide.
Go ahead. I'll wait.
She never realizes when she's crossed the line. Why can't you let me screw up my life in peace?
Because she has high hopes. It's a terrible thing.
Oh, I'm so sick of me. Let's talk about something else. Tell me some jokes.
Okay. You ever hear the one about the really smart kid with a degree in comparative literature who ends up washing dogs for a living?
Is that what you're doing?
As of last week. Yeah, my roommate and I, we have a van. We go from house to house. Scrub and scram.
Did you come up with that?
I did.
Oh, you're still writing.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a haiku for any occasion. And you call yourself the successful one.
Hey, don't get bitter. Sweetness is your most appealing quality.
Yeah, what's your excuse? This battle with Mom, it's not aging so well.
Well, she's the one who started it.
But don't you take that tone with me. I don't care who started it. I'm telling you how it's going to end.
In tears. And they're not going to be mine.
Throw her a bone, Amy.
She doesn't want a bone. She wants the whole damn cow.
I'll throw her a cow then.
Now, if your stomach feels even a little bad, you call Grandma and she'll come after you.
When am I going to see Daddy again?
This weekend?
He's not coming to the wearing-in ceremony?
The, swearing in. No, he's not coming.
You uninvited him.
Honey, it's complicated.
You always say that when you do something wrong.
I didn't do anything wrong. Can we talk about this tonight?
I hate being separated.
I know you do.
There's only one other kid in my class whose parents are divorced. And she gets in trouble for chewing her hair.
Well, you're already ahead of the game.
You don't chew your hair.
I wish I had a normal family.
What you don't understand is that my son is not a typical 8-year-old. He's mature for his age. He's very self-sufficient.
Mrs. Jenkins, you left him alone for 5 days.
But he was never in any danger.
Well, that's what we call luck.
My neighbor was instructed to check in on him.
Neighbors check in on pets, not children. Do you realize that you could lose your parental rights?
I've been told that will never happen.
Well, here's what is going to happen. Your ex-husband has petitioned for temporary custody, and he's going to get it. You will take a 12-week parenting course.
Oh, please. Have we gone through the looking glass?
At which point I will review your case.
You clearly have no concept of what it's like to be a single working mother.
None at all. What's next?
Excuse me, Your Honor. Can we talk for a moment off the record?
Sure, I guess.
As regards the case of Angeline Kivett.
Don't we have a hearing on that tomorrow?
Well, just to let you know, we were able to find something on the father, medical records from drug rehab back in 1992.
I asked you to find the father, not his records.
Yes, but this information suggests...
Well, this information is not complete. When it is, we'll review it. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Is that all you're eating?
Mom, what are you doing?
I've been consulting on a case in Judge Pasquarella's court. Suddenly I had a nostalgic craving for cafeteria food. May I sit?
Sure. I thought you were officially retired.
I am. But all that means is they don't call me on weekends. What?
I just wish you had told me that you were still working.
I'm not working. I'm consulting. You're going to be starving in an hour.
What if Lauren gets sick again?
Lauren is fine. You worry too much.
Mom, it was your idea that we come to live with you. You said I needed your help, that we pool our resources, that it takes a village to raise a child. Wasn't that your argument?
I didn't say the village thing.
And now you say that I worry too much?
Amy, you're the one that wanted to start your life over again. You shouldn't be surprised if Lauren is having a reaction. I didn't mean that.
Oh, yes, you did.
Have some of my lasagna.
No, Mom, you have to stop.
Stop what?
Everything. Calling the cops on me, hunting me down at work. I know you mean well, but you really have to let me grow up.
I thought I did that already.
Well, I'm not so sure. I gotta go.
But you haven't finished. You go.
Long day.
Yep, glad it's over. Here's the cab. You want to go get a drink?
Take a look at it first thing in the morning.
One of those days?
Hi, Jack.
Flat tire. Call the auto club?
I don't have the auto club. I'm a New Yorker. I'm not used to having a car.
I guess I'll have to give you a ride.
No, really. I'll call someone.
Don't be ridiculous. Promise not to talk shop.
Okay.
One day I'm running track in college, then law school sounds good, then marriage. I mean, why not?
Then I'm up to my ears in mergers and acquisitions and SEC filings. Then I'm watching Big Bird. And now I am wearing a judge's robe and living with my mother. I mean, what happened?
Where did the idea for the judgeship come from?
Well, after a lot of thought and soul searching.
Oh, please.
I was at a party. At a Harvard reunion, a friend of mine said he wanted to throw my name in the hat. Said the bar was always looking for female judges, so I said, sure, put my name up. When it turned into a possibility, just like anything else, I had to do it. Couldn't fail. I don't fail well.
But there had to be something else motivating you.
Well, just one other stupid thing, but I'm embarrassed to say it.
What?
I wanted to do something that would make a difference. Maybe instead of fixing the flat tire, I'll just sell the car. Well, thanks a lot, Jack.
Not a problem. Oh, wait, before you go. I know I promised not to talk shop, but
Good.
just last year, Judge Vine bent over backwards to place an abused kid with a family member. Drug-abusing mom goes through 6 months of rehab. He figures give the lady another chance. Anything's better than foster care, right? Less than a month, that kid ended up on a slab. 4 years old, just like Angeline Kivett.
It must have been terrible for you. I mean, if it was your case.
I don't want to see it happen again. We all just want to do what's right.
That's right. Thanks a lot, Jack.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I didn't mean to steal the car. I was in it, and it started moving.
That's ridiculous. Cars don't just start moving.
Please, Judge, give me a chance. I don't want to go to jail.
Well, what are you going to do for me?
I don't think that Judge Barbie is supposed to say that.
Okay, bedtime.
Already?
Already nothing. I let you stay up an extra half an hour.
Didn't feel like a half an hour.
Say goodnight, Uncle Vincent.
Good night, sweetie.
Was everything okay at school?
I guess Chanel's mom read to us at story time. Every week a different mother does it.
Oh, that sounds fun.
But you can't do it, right?
Maybe I can.
Chanel's father said all judges are dirty.
Well, not me. I just took a shower.
Mom.
Honey, it really is bedtime.
Fine.
Love your guts.
Me too.
Oh, good. You're still here.
You want to throw anything in? Or anyone?
Yeah, I can think of a few candidates. I got hit on and threatened today by the same guy.
Details.
He's a muckety-muck in the Attorney General's office.
Did you leave a horse's head in your car?
No, actually, it wasn't an overt threat. That would be a federal offense. So he gently advised me on how to decide a case. He told a little parable.
Like the Buddha.
Exactly.
Can you get in trouble for that?
If I choose to get him into trouble. Which may not be the smartest thing right now. The guy is high up, and if he wants to make life hard for me, he can.
I need you to look more upset.
Look, I've had a really hard day, too. I have to decide whether to use a number 4 or number 6 brush on a Rottweiler.
I have to say it.
No, you don't.
What the hell are you doing with your life?
When I know, you'll know.
Vincent, you have so much potential.
No.
You do. Mom's right about that.
All right, let me get this straight. When Mom meddles in my life, she's right. But in yours, she's way out of line.
I know it seems unfair.
So, when are you going to tell Mom what happened with you and Michael? Or better yet, when are you going to tell me?
It's so not interesting.
I'll be the judge of that. Come on, I've been very patient. I never even asked.
He had 4 mistresses and some prostitutes on the side.
Well, you see, that is interesting. Really?
No, not really.
Don't.
But that's the only thing everyone wants to hear.
Well, I just want to hear the truth.
Well, that's the problem. The lie is easy. The truth is complex. The marriage just died. It was sick for a long time. And we took it to the doctor. But it died anyway. I mean, the truth is, Michael wanted out for a long time, but he wasn't brave enough to say it, so I said it for him. A month later, he met somebody else, and now she lives with him.
You have to tell Mom
Why?
so she can give you advice.
I don't want her advice.
You know what I've been doing while you were away? Looking after Mom and trying not to get caught at it. Because this is a person who does not ask for what she needs, but it doesn't mean that she doesn't need anything.
Okay, let's talk. I'm quitting. You came out without a jacket.
I don't want to talk about my marriage with you. It's personal and it's mine, and you're not in it.
Well, there goes my social life.
But my job is different. It's true that I didn't pay a lot of dues for this job, but I'm there now, and I have to deal with it. I'm a good lawyer, and I think I could be a good judge, but it all happened so fast that I don't have any breathing room, and I haven't had time to figure it out, so go ahead and tell me.
Tell you what?
You know, what makes a good judge?
Pee before you take the bench. Don't wear perfume. And always be sure there's no food in your teeth.
Okay, I'll remember that.
No, you won't. You're humoring me. Come on, Socrates, let's go eat.
Mother.
Honey, stop looking for answers, formulas. There aren't any. Just trust your instincts.
I'm scared, Mom.
You should be. It's an important job. And if I thought you couldn't do it, I would tell you. I'm not gonna let you make a fool of yourself. Would it kill you to wear your hair out of your face?
Yeah, Ma, it would actually kill me.
Kill me.
Judge Gray, it's almost 9:30.
Okay. Bruce, do you have a minute? Is Jack Overby around?
I think so.
In your opinion, what kind of a guy is he?
Tall?
I mean, is he some kind of a threat?
You're the judge.
Yeah, well, Kennedy was the president. Didn't stop Hoover from having a file on him.
Look, I don't like to get involved.
Yeah, I hear you, Bruce. You don't want to be friends. You don't want to get involved. You're neutral. You're Switzerland. I get it. The trouble is, I don't have a lot of friends around here, so it'd be just swell if you could make believe for a millisecond that you care whether or not I hold my own or go down in flames, okay?
I'd watch my back with the guy.
Thank you.
Your Honor, per your request, Ms. Railsback attempted to locate the father and has discovered that Mr. Edward Vaughn is, in fact, deceased.
I see. Well, in that case, the court has no other option but to extend the order of temporary custody to the foster care family.
Thank you.
Moving on, the matter of Martha Knox.
I'm just out of curiosity. How did you come by this information?
I managed to locate a family member.
What kind of family member?
Mr. Edward Vaughn's mother.
You mean the child's grandmother?
Yes.
Is the grandmother interested in obtaining custody?
Your Honor, this woman is elderly.
How elderly?
64?
Miss Railsback, you know my mother, correct?
Yes, but your mother is exceptional.
A lot of mothers are exceptional.
Mrs. Vaughn's not licensed.
To be a grandmother? What are the qualifications?
We cannot pay board and care to an unlicensed home, whether it's a relative or a stranger's.
Maybe she doesn't want the money. Maybe she just wants the kid.
I'd like to investigate this situation further.
Thank you. That would be great. I'd like to set another hearing for next week.
If I may add a thought.
Please.
When I work hard to find a good foster family and you question my judgment, it makes me wonder why I bother.
You bother because it's your job. And I question you because it's mine. Moving on, Mr. Dobbs. All right. Now. Okay, so all day long I've been trying to think of something smart to say to you. So okay, here goes. I know you want a normal family, but the trouble is, nobody knows what that is. So I can't promise you normal. But what I can promise you is that you will always be surrounded by people who love you. And that this judge thing is pretty cool. But the best job I'm ever gonna have is being your mom. How was that?
Good.
It's not too sappy?
It's okay. You're nervous. Can we get sworn in now?
Yeah.
You do solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of Connecticut, so long as you continue a judge thereof, and to faithfully discharge, according to law, the duties of judge of the Superior Court, State of Connecticut, to the best of your ability, so help you God.
I do.
Why does it always have to be a race?
What's the point if it isn't?
Recreational exercise?
Who has time for that? I'm seeing the shrink today. I'm having lunch with him.
You're dating your shrink?
He's not my shrink. He's that guy I told you about.
Oh, right. Yeah, that guy with the two girl names. Jackie Suzanne?
Tracy Carroll. I know. I'm trying to get past the name thing. At least it's a date. Sort of. When was the last time you had a date?
I date? Mom, you mind if I take a shower here?
No. This is not private school, Amy. These teachers aren't interested in hearing from you. You don't pay them enough.
Yeah, we'll see. Where's Lauren? Lauren! I have short calendar day.
Well, you better move it. Short calendar days are the...
Overwhelmed yet?
What do you mean?
Sometimes it can take a little while to get your sea legs. Let me know if I can help.
I'm okay.
You got a short calendar today.
I'm fine, thank you. How are you? What is this?
Courtesy of Jack Overby.
God, that man does not miss a trick, does he?
Do you know what short calendar is?
Matters that resolve in 15 minutes or less. Paternities, OTCs. I went to judge school. Yeah, hello, this is Amy Gray. I'd like to speak to Miss Schlewy, if possible. Well, then I'd like to leave a message for her. Amy Gray, 5550172. Thank you. What's the docket?
54 cases. 10 walk-ins, 12 custody, a couple delinquency arraignments, plus all weekend arraignments and a surrender. We'll have to work quickly.
Yeah, but I'm actually gonna have to hear the cases to make an informed decision.
Just try and pace yourself.
What's up first? Okay, Mr. Conrad, talk to me.
I don't know what to do, Your Honor. My baby is out of control. She's staying out late, she's doing drugs.
Your Honor, this is not relevant to the question of bail.
Counsel, I'd like Mr. Conrad to continue.
Ever since I got married in July, it got worse. She and Diane can't get along at all.
She's a monster.
Shut up, you stupid bitch.
Monique, that's enough. You're not helping.
She's not a monster. But she's not acting right either. Two days ago, she sliced up her arm pretty bad with a razor, and last night she found my gun and she tried to shoot herself. I don't know what to do anymore. I love my baby and I love my wife, but this just isn't working. I can't have her living with us. She needs to be in a hospital. I'm sorry, baby.
Daddy?
I'm sorry.
You always take her side.
Monique, I'd like you to be seen by a psychologist in our court clinic.
She's the crazy one.
Okay, that's enough.
Monique, stop.
No!
Monique.
Would everyone just please sit down and, that's enough! Everyone just please sit down and take your seats. This court will come to order. Sit down, please!
Calm down. It's enough. Your Honor, how about we take a short break?
Yeah, let's do that.
The record reflect the respondent just hit her stepmother in the face?
Yeah, the record will reflect that. This court's in recess.
Your Honor, police received an anonymous phone call that 2-year-old Vanessa Beatty was playing unsupervised on the front steps of her home when she fell and was injured. When an officer and DCF worker arrived on the scene, they found the injured girl out front and the mother, Beatrice Beatty, extremely inebriated inside on the floor. Ms. Smeal removed Vanessa and her 8-year-old brother into emergency foster care.
The father was present at the time and sober. Is that correct?
Yes, he was painting the house.
And the child's knee required nothing more than a Band-Aid, which the father applied?
That's right, but,
Mr. Overby, it is my impression that an order of temporary custody is issued only when there's an imminent risk of physical injury to a child. Dad was there. Isn't that enough to avoid the imminent risk standard?
With all due respect, Your Honor, you can't sit as a court of appeal on an OTC signed by another judge.
I know, but I am required to dissolve any OTC where the risk no longer appears to be imminent.
Our concern goes beyond the one day, Your Honor. Mrs. Beatty has a chronic alcohol problem and is the only caretaker when Mr. Beatty is at work. If we hadn't acted on this and something worse had happened to the child...
And DCF would have been blamed and your office would have looked bad. I'm on to the drill.
Are you suggesting that my motives are entirely political here? Because that is beyond offensive.
I am suggesting that anyone who wants to take 2 children away from their parents for a skinned knee is at best not thinking clearly. There's no other relative to take care of the kids? No possibility of daycare?
Mrs. Beatty would have to demonstrate compliance with treatment and clean urine for 3 months before we would send them home.
Another 3 months.
That's right.
3 months without their parents? What kind of damage is that going to do? We're talking about a 2-year-old and an 8-year-old here. Is that the best you can do?
Unless you got a better idea.
Here's everything I could find on the M. Diaz family.
Thank you. I thought you dealt with them at one time or another.
Grandma is a piece of work.
So noted. So I hear you've been doing a little bit of consulting.
Every now and then.
It's hard to give it up.
Not for me. I've been too busy.
What have you been doing?
Oh, please, what haven't I been doing? I've been doing gardening, French lessons, Taekwondo, you know, everything I never got a chance to do.
So have you ever thought about coming back to work?
No, thank you.
Because I need you, Maxine. The department is not what it used to be. The system is falling apart. You trained all of us to do this work. You're the only one who can fix it.
Nonsense. I can't. I'm sorry. Tanya, I'm busy, you know. I got plans. I want to bicycle across China. I want to travel to
Brazil, Ireland,
Vietnam, Cambodia.
Cambodia is new.
Amy needs me for Lauren. There's 1,000 things I want to do, and work is not one of them.
You never miss it. Because it is one of the few jobs where you can say we really are creating change. You told me that the first day I started work. Remember?
Your Honor, we're asking for an annulment of the marriage on the grounds of fraud and physical incapacity.
Fraud?
Yes. Ms. Radakovich is a Russian citizen. We allege that she married my client, Andrew Scribner, to get a green card. She never loved him.
What makes you think this?
She refused to conjugate the marriage.
Consummate. I see. Did she express positive feelings for you before the marriage?
She said that she loved me and that we would make babies together. The day after our wedding, she started pushing me to open a joint bank account and sign some papers at the INS office.
Did Miss Radakovich talk about the green card before you got married?
Never. It didn't even cross my mind.
Okay. Well, if you're claiming sexual incapacity, Mr. Scribner, I'm going to need either medical evidence or evidence of failure to perform. Did you have sexual relations with Miss Radakovich before you got married?
No. She told me she wanted to wait till our wedding night to make it special. I respected that. But afterwards, as soon as I tried to do stuff, she said I made her sick. If I touched her, I'd find my privates in the front yard.
Okay.
She was an Olympic shot putter, so after a while I just stopped trying.
Oh, that was smart.
Hi.
I made a reservation.
I'm here just to tell you I can't be here.
Oh.
I have a crazy doc and I just can't take lunch today. I'm sorry. I usually don't do this on a first date.
Oh, no problem. We'll just reschedule.
Can we? That'd be great. I'll call you.
Aren't you gonna be hungry?
No, I have some mints in my purse.
Wait a minute. Come on.
No, Tracy, I'm really not that hungry. I got too much to think about.
I'm a psychologist, trust me. Nobody does their best thinking on an empty stomach. Pretzels or chips?
I don't really have time to eat that anyway. Chips, I guess. You really don't have to do that.
It's cheaper than a restaurant. Apple or hard-boiled egg?
Apple. Thank you.
Oh, no. Fruit juice or soda?
Soda.
Yeah?
Something with caffeine.
Here you go. All the basic food groups.
You're so... I can't believe you did that. I don't know what to say.
Say you'll have dinner with me on Friday.
Dinner?
Or lunch. We can go back to lunch if you want. Lunch is good.
No, what the hell? Let's live dangerously. Dinner it is.
Good.
Mother!
Maxine? Surprise.
Surprise, Mom.
What is it?
Lunch. We picked up some Thai food.
Does anybody have a job anymore?
Yes, that's why I've only got an hour.
We have a surprise for you.
More surprises.
Jillian and I were talking about our vacation this year,
First we were thinking St. Bart's or Nassau.
but then we had a great idea. We know how you're dying to go to Vietnam, so why don't we go with you?
With me? Well,
We talked to our travel agent, and he's come up with a great tour. Vietnam highlights. 6 days, 5 nights.
And if we go this spring, we can get a great discount.
that's because it's the rainy season.
Oh, well, we don't have to go in the spring. It's just that's the only time I have off from work.
Well, I was planning on several weeks. 6 days and 5 nights does sound a little whirlwind.
Mother, this way we can go with you.
I don't need you to go with me. I want to go in the winter months so that I can miss the rainy season in Cambodia.
Cambodia? You're not going to Cambodia.
Yes, actually, I am. I've always wanted to see the temple at Angkor Wat. 6 days and 5 nights just won't cut it.
Mother, you can't go to Cambodia. It's dangerous.
I can go wherever the hell I want, thank you. And for your information, Cambodia is perfectly safe as long as you know what you're doing.
Mother?
Sweetie, obviously your mother has an idea of where she wants to go. Why don't
Tourists are kidnapped in Cambodia. They're blown up by landmines. There's parasites that eat your brain. You're not going to Cambodia. This tour to Vietnam should give you all the exotic locale you'll need, and you won't be traveling alone. A woman your age.
Peter, if I wanted to travel with you and Jillian, I would have said so. This is my trip. Now, thanks for the lunch, but I've never cared for Thai food, and I've already eaten.
Ms. Namphy, you can't just take somebody's baby out of the country.
Madame Namphy, si ce n'est pas votre enfant, vous ne pouvez pas le sortir du pays comme ça.
Pourquoi j'aurais besoin de permission? Elle a laissé le bébé avec moi. Mais je voulais aller à Haïti. Je devais faire.
She says she had to.
Why?
Pourquoi?
Pour le bébé santé.
For the baby's
Ils ne
well-being.
vont pas à l'église.
They don't go to church.
La maison est dégueulasse.
The house is dirty.
Le bébé, il est une irritation de
And the
peau.
baby has a terrible diaper rash.
Oui, c'est vrai.
Non, c'est pas vrai. Mais qu'est-ce que tu y connais?
What are you
Comment
doing?
peux-tu
Non, tu savais même pas. Qu'est-ce que tu y connais?
Oh là là, dis-moi.
Don't, you're really pissing me off now.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Ma'am, taking a baby who does not belong to you to Haiti,
Madame, si vous amenez un enfant qui n'est pas le vôtre à Haïti,
no matter how you feel about his care,
n'importe comment tu les soignes,
is not okay.
ça ne va pas.
You do it again, you end up in state prison.
Si vous le faites encore, vous finirez par la prison.
Comprenez-vous?
Oui.
Good. All parties are free to go.
Allez, allez. Allez.
Did Lauren's teacher ever call back?
Nope, sorry, niece. You need to pick it up. We're behind on the docket.
Yeah.
Grandma!
Out here. You're home early.
It was a minimum day.
Minimum day. I thought we could start a vegetable garden for you.
Nah, that's okay. I don't like vegetables.
Oh. Okay. How about some mums or tulips?
Dirt has worms in it. Can I go do my homework now?
What kind of homework?
Homonyms.
Oh. Well, better get to it.
Renee Livingston just completed 3 years of weekend incarceration for the killing of her 6-week-old baby.
3 years? That's all?
Postpartum depression was a mitigating factor. Judge allowed it. Now she's here to sever parental rights to her 2-year-old daughter.
She had another one? She had a psych workup?
She's confident.
Foster parents want to adopt?
Yep. Here, TPR form signed by all parties.
Mrs. Livingston, you're here to surrender your child, thereby terminating all your parental rights forever. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Melody's been living with the Dowds since she was born. They take real good care of her. I can tell from the pictures that they send. They write me letters all about her.
You understand that if I sever your parental rights, the Dowds will be under no obligation to keep in contact with you.
I know. Mr. Kramer told me that.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a few questions. Are you surrendering this child of your own free will and only because you want to and for no other reason?
I am.
Do you realize that once I approve of this surrender, you will no longer be the mother of this child for any purpose? I need you to answer audibly, Renee.
Yes.
Do you understand that the surrender is effective immediately and that you cannot change your mind thereafter?
Yes.
Do you want to surrender this child? I need you to answer me, Renee. Do you want to surrender this child?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
I'm sorry, I cannot accept this consent.
No!
This woman is not ready to sever her parental rights. I can't accept it.
Your Honor, I move to amend the pleading and add grounds E and F. Renee Livingston killed her first child. Under Connecticut law, that fact alone is enough to terminate her parental rights.
Set it for trial. This court's in recess.
Court's recess 10 minutes.
couldn't accept that surrender. She was clearly ambivalent. It was my obligation to set it aside.
Here's the story. The lobby's calling. There's 10 more cases out there. There's no way we're going to wrap up by 4:30. I suggest you continue the cases to another day.
We can't do that. These people have been waiting since 8 o'clock this morning.
It happens. This is what I meant when I talked about pacing yourself. You can't agonize over every decision.
I understand that you've been waiting since early this morning to be heard. On behalf of the court, I apologize. I'm sorry, but due to the caseload, I have no alternative but to continue your cases. Counsel, please see Mr. Van Exel about rescheduling.
The court's in recess until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
You're gonna die, Grandma.
This may come as a shock to you, Lauren, but we're all gonna die, sooner or later.
1 in every 5 deaths in America is smoking related.
Really? Well, the French smoke more than we do, and they live longer. Here, I'll finish this pile for you, and you can jump in it.
Do you want to die, Grandma?
Lauren, smoking is bad. I should quit. I will quit. But the thing for you to remember about all this is, you're not in it. Anyway, believe it or not, I'm rumored to be in excellent health.
But you look old.
Lauren, your opinions are not as fascinating as you think they are.
Why are you so grouchy?
Because I have earned that privilege. Now, there. You want to jump in them or not?
Aren't there bugs in there?
Probably.
Ew!
All right, then. Your loss. Banzai. Come here,
Excuse me, Miss Schlewe?
Yes.
I'm Amy Gray, Lauren's mom.
Oh, yes. You're the mother who's been trying to reach me all day.
Yeah. Yep, that's me.
Have a seat.
Mrs. Schlewe, Lauren has gotten the idea that you don't like her.
Huh.
Anyway, I told her that of course you like her. Who could not like her? But I thought that we should talk because she's new at the school and I want her to feel good here.
Lauren talks too much.
Well, Lauren does have a lot to say, but I've always thought that was a good thing. She's a bright girl who contributes.
Mrs. Gray, Lauren talks way too much. She distracts the other children. No one around her can get their work done.
You made her stand in the hallway for 20 minutes because she talks? She's a 6-year-old. She's new. And you humiliated her in front of all of her friends?
Mrs. Gray, I have 32 students in this class. Without order, I can't teach.
Well, maybe she talks because she's bored.
Lauren is a good student, not a perfect one.
Okay. I want her moved to a different class.
Oh, I'm afraid that can't happen.
You want to bet?
Did you really make this yourself?
Mm-hmm. It's the temple at Bangkok. What?
When you go to Vietnam, will you take me?
No. Southeast Asia is not for... What is that on your head?
My wig. Mom bought it at a garage sale. It belonged to some lady who died.
It's lovely.
What are you doing?
I'm in a travel chat room, finding out things about Cambodia. You have to do a lot of research before you travel to a foreign country.
Who's Secret Squirrel?
Just someone I know in Dallas. She lost a leg in a car accident last year. It's been very traumatic for her.
I saw a dog with 3 legs once.
I want my daughter moved to a different classroom.
Ms. Gray, we appreciate your concern. However, we can't move every child who has a problem.
Lauren doesn't have a problem. She's a bright, friendly, outgoing little girl.
Who talks incessantly.
See, that's the attitude my child faces every day from her teacher. A woman who perhaps has been doing this job too long.
I'm sorry, Ms. Gray, but I have to disagree with you. Mrs. Schlewy is one of our best and most popular teachers. All the parent volunteers in her class couldn't be more enthusiastic about her performance.
Mrs. Gray wouldn't know that because she doesn't volunteer.
Oh, so that's what this is about? My child is being penalized because I have a job? Because I can't sit in the classroom and cut out paper pumpkins or drive to every field trip or bake cookies for the multiple teacher appreciation teas?
Ms. Gray, we do have plenty of working parents who manage to rearrange their schedules for the benefit of their child.
Well, my job is not like that.
We're a public school trying to do everything on a state budget. It troubles me, Miss Gray, that the first time I meet you is when you show up to complain.
I'm a judge. Okay? I have to take the bench every morning at 9 o'clock. But hey, if you have volunteer jobs available before 9 a.m., I'm there.
Terrific. How about carpool lane duty? 7:45 to 8:30. Can we count on you?
What's anorexia?
It's a disease women get from reading magazines.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
What are you doing?
We're talking to Grandma's friends. One of them only has 1 testicle.
Grandma, you really think this is a good idea?
There's no harm to it. It's a travel room. We mostly talk about hotels.
And genitals, apparently. I got you some salad stuff at the farmer's market. You have no food in your fridge.
Don't put that there.
Does Amy know this is what you two have been doing all afternoon?
Is there a problem, Vincent?
Hey, I have no kids. What do I know?
My point exactly.
It's just I left you 12 hours ago in front of the computer.
Is that your business? You don't have to check up on me. I'm fine.
You want me to put your groceries away?
No, I'll do it.
I'll help you, Grandma.
Some people might call this internet thing an addiction.
It's a hobby. People are allowed hobbies. Like that novel you've been writing for the last 4 years.
It's a collection of short stories. And it's not a hobby, it's actually what I do.
When you're not hairstylist to the canine set.
But this whole internet thing started because you were supposedly researching your trip to Vietnam.
Cambodia.
Now you're spending all your time hanging out in chat rooms. Maybe you should go back to work.
I don't want to work. I have plans.
Exactly, that's what you have, is plans. Face it, Mom, you don't want to go to Vietnam because if you did, you'd be there right now.
Cambodia.
You get my point.
Hi, Mommy.
Hi, baby.
Welcome to Dysfunctional Family Central.
What are you doing?
Eating dinner. What does it look like?
Bad day, huh?
What happened?
Nothing. I don't want to talk about it. Lauren, I talked to your teacher today.
Are they gonna move me?
No, but I'm working on it. Worst comes to worst, you can always switch schools.
But I like that school. All my friends go there.
You're going to switch schools because she's experiencing a little discomfort?
Well, I don't want a first grade teacher to send her into therapy for the rest of her life.
Anybody want to hear about my day?
No.
I do, Uncle Vincent.
Okay, come on.
Maybe.
I'll tell you about it. I did my first poodle cut today. The pom-pom is the tricky part.
Maybe Lauren does talk too much.
Whose side are you on?
Well, why does it have to be about sides? I spent the day with the child. She never met a thought she didn't share.
That's nice.
Amy, this is where she learns that things don't always go her way. You can't protect her from everything.
I can't seem to protect her from anything, Ma. That's what kills me. Hello. Excuse me, I'm looking for
Can't help you. Ask a nurse.
I'm looking for the Nugent baby.
A little late for visiting hours. You a relative?
No, I'm a judge. Emergency response.
Judge Gray?
The same?
Oh, I was kind of expecting an old guy in robes.
Well, it's too bad you couldn't find one.
Sorry, I'm Dr. McGrath. The Nugent baby's my patient. Why don't you come with me?
As the baby's guardian ad litem, I have to think about what's best for the baby. Robbie deserves a chance at recovery. I mean, who knows? There's a lot we don't understand about the brain. People are always coming out of comas.
No, they're not. Not this type of coma. Robbie Nugent is virtually vegetative. The only brain activity we can find is in the lower part of his brain, the part that controls his heart and lungs. He's not going to wake up out of this coma.
So what's the emergency?
The emergency is he spiked a fever earlier this evening. He's got pneumonia. Without antibiotics, he'll die.
And you don't want to give him the antibiotics?
Correct. We believe it'll prolong the inevitable. As long as this baby's alive, he's suffering. Not just physical pain, but the indignity of daily blood draws and invasive procedures, the point of which is simply to allow this baby one more day in a vegetative state. He's in hell. This pneumonia's a gift. It's an opportunity to let him die swiftly and painlessly.
The child's parents aren't ready to give up.
The child's parents lost their rights to participate in this decision when they abused this child. He wouldn't be in this hospital if somebody hadn't beaten the crap out of him. So don't talk to me about the parents.
He's still their baby.
Once they raised their hands to this child, they lost the privilege of being called parent.
You're here as the guardian for the child, Mr. Wong, not the parents. Do you believe it's in his best interest to go on living this way?
I'm just not comfortable with the decision being made so quickly.
Dr. McGrath?
He's been in a coma for 3 months. No sign of improvement. He's intubated. He's got a feeding tube in his stomach. He's gonna die. It's just a question of when.
All right. I need to think about this for a moment. My role here is to balance the interest of the state in prolonging life with the interest of the individual to reject the traumatic cost of that prolongation. It seems clear to me that the situation is not going to get any better for Robbie. And regretfully, the overwhelming medical evidence is that the situation will only deteriorate.
Sorry I'm late. Came as soon as I got beeped. I'm investigating the child's parents for criminal culpability, so thought I should be here for this ruling.
Under either best interest of the child or substitute judgment theory, I rule that that no antibiotics should be given and no extraordinary measures are to be taken in this case.
Thank you.
Miss Gray, just want to say, I think you made the right call in there.
Thanks.
It sickens me it's gotten this far. Tried to have Robbie removed from the foster home the first time he showed up in the yard with a broken arm. Judge went against me, and, well, here we are.
Excuse me, I really have to get home.
My point is, when we overreact with OTCs and removals, Miss Gray, all we're trying to do is save lives.
Mr. Overby, when you overreact with unwarranted removals and OTCs, you hurt families and you lose credibility. And when you lose credibility, you force me and my colleagues to question your judgment on all other matters.
Miss Gray.
Now, I may be new at this game, Mr. Overby, but I was an attorney for 11 years, and I know when I'm being patronized and manipulated. My advice to you, don't do it. It irritates me. Oh, and by the way, it's Judge Gray. This isn't gonna work.
Good morning.
What were they thinking? Do they let just anyone do this job? I quit.
This is a phase, Amy. The quitting phase. You'll get through it.
No, I'm serious. How can they let me make decisions? Who thought that was such a great idea?
Well, it's either you or someone else equally unprepared. People are betting on you.
Well, they shouldn't. I blew it yesterday, Ma. I didn't finish my docket.
You'll do better today.
Just look at my life. I spend my entire day, and sometimes my nights, trying to determine the best interest of the child. Meanwhile, I have no idea what the best interest of my own child is. Oh, God.
You need a nap.
Oh, I don't have time for a nap because I have to be in court in an hour to hear another 60 cases. Oh, Ma, I've always felt so competent together. Nothing like this has ever happened to me before.
That's because nothing has ever happened to you. You had it easy until now. You don't get to be the person that doesn't experience any pain. This is what life feels like when you risk things.
Just tell me there's an upside.
There is. I'm taking on a couple cases. The department needs me.
What?
Well, it's temporary. Tanya wants me to help out.
This doesn't feel like the upside.
He's a little right, Vincent. I may be out of practice talking to real people.
What am I going to do with Lauren?
We'll work it out.
What about Vietnam and then the Temple of Whatchamacallit? What about your dreams, Ma?
Until 1967, it was legal to beat your kids. Did you know that? Or anybody's kids. They were just property. I didn't only do my job, I helped create it.
You sure this is what you want to do?
Sure. People do what they want to do. The rest is just excuses.
Hey, Ma, can we get back to the upside?
When you see it, you'll know.
Up and at 'em, baby girl. We're late.
I'm sick.
You're not sick.
I hate school and I hate Miss Shalewy.
Well, here's the thing, sweetie. You are in Mrs. Shalewy's universe now, so you've got to play by her rules.
How?
Well, to begin with, you could try not to talk too much. That's an area you could work on.
But Miss Shalewy never puts my art up on the wall.
Baby, I'm here to tell you that on the scale of all things bad and horrible, Mrs. Shalewy is just an annoyance. You'll survive this. Now, come on, get up and get dressed. We've got to be at school at 7:45.
Why?
Because we've just got to try to be better. Have a fabulous day. You're all set? Here, come on.
That's my mom.
I know I'm late. I had carpool lane duty.
Yeah, 45 cases on the docket.
How about a little good morning every once in a while?
Plus 25 rescheduled.
Oh, man. 70 cases on 3 hours sleep. What's up first?
An adoption.
An adoption?
Yeah, it was scheduled for Department D, but I asked him to throw it this way. I thought you could use it.
Okay, so all parties have had a chance to examine the documents and certify that the names of the parents and child and date of birth are correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, then I am pleased and so privileged to finalize the adoption of Hallie Shoyen Blitzman to Jay and Sandy Blitzman. Congratulations, your parents.
It's for the baby.
This is for you, sweetie. You don't know it yet, but today is the luckiest day of your life.
Picture time, everybody. Judge, can I get one of you holding the baby?
Absolutely. As long as you promise to send me a copy.
Call it to the court, Miss Thompson.
She's stealing my baby! Somebody stop her!
Department of Children and Families. Excuse us, please. Ma'am, let me explain something to you. This is the second time that you have left your 2-year-old overnight in a daycare center. The reason they call it daycare is because you're supposed to pick your child up at the end of the day.
I was sick. I couldn't get out of bed. Where did you take her?
She's with DCF, that's all I can tell you.
When my boyfriend finds out, you're in trouble, lady.
You'll be notified of a court date. I suggest you go into the piggy bank and hire a lawyer. And for the record, don't threaten the social worker. It doesn't look good on the report.
You can see from the slides the full extent of the deviation. Now, Miss Ralston's parents are aware of the harassment their daughter has endured, yet will not permit her the treatment necessary to correct this condition.
Let me get this straight. Katie is claiming that her parents are negligent because she can't get a nose job?
Corrective rhinoplasty.
I see. Katie, your nose looks fine to me.
This part's sloped wrong, and the tip's fat.
Can you breathe through it?
Yeah, but that's not all a nose is for.
I think all parties will agree that this hardly constitutes a medical emergency. Therefore, I'm finding a summary judgment for the parents.
Oh, man.
I recommend counseling for Katie and her parents. Consider it a court-ordered perspective check. All parties are free to go. Recess 1 hour?
Court is recess. 1 hour.
Had enough of the glamour of civil litigation?
It's kind of fun, exercising different muscles.
Well, thanks for letting me kick some cases to you. Cancer patient has to work on her doctor's schedule.
That's no problem. You still need me, or am I free to go back to my docket?
Well, let me buy you lunch first. I don't mind losing my hair so much. I hate my hair. It's just that the chemo makes me feel so depleted. Or, as my ex told me the first time, chemo makes you so nice. That scares the hell out of me.
How long does the treatment take?
The first course is 2 weeks, but I have to be hospitalized because the immune system is so compromised. The risk of infection is sky high.
Well, if there's anything I can do.
Yeah, you cannot get breast cancer. This disease makes me want to go around checking my friends' breasts for them.
I promise you I'm on top of it. Who's covering for you? We had 2 weeks?
No, 1 case. It's like 3 days max.
What kind of case?
Well, have you been following the Harper lawsuit?
You gotta be kidding me.
Tell me what you know.
16-year-old girl murdered by her boyfriend. Parents of the victim are suing parents of the killer for wrongful death, failure to supervise, looking for damages in the area of $2 million.
God, you must have been a pain at Harvard.
Well, it's on the news every night. I could hardly miss it. You do not want to hand this case to me.
Why not?
Because it's a jury trial.
It's the law. We're all swimming in the same pool here, Amy. You gotta get your jury experience sometime. What do you think?
I think given your circumstances, I have to say yes. And it annoys me that I don't have a choice.
Oh, God, an honest judge.
1,200. This is ridiculous, Mom. Why don't you let Vincent take you to the car lot?
If you two don't want to help me, fine. I'll take the bus until I get my car fixed. Or walk. Nothing the matter with walking. People have walked in this town for hundreds of years. I'm going to the market.
Don't forget the ice cream for tomorrow.
Wait, what's tomorrow?
My sleepover.
The sleepover.
On a weeknight?
It's teacher's workshop. There's no school. I promise, Ma.
But you're just about to start your first jury trial, Amy. This is hardly the time to... Okay, give me the money.
Can you get Neapolitan?
Don't push your luck. Neapolitan. Oh. Would you feel that fresh air?
How long do you give her?
End of the driveway.
Honey, get your bag. We're gonna be late.
I can't walk. The ice cream will melt.
Who are you calling?
Peter, he knows how to buy a car.
How's the game?
Good. Anytime you want.
Thanks, Colin. I'm retired.
Good morning, counsel.
Alex Reeves, it's a pleasure.
Stuart Collins for the plaintiff.
Stu Collins.
I wasn't sure you'd remember. We were at Harvard together.
Of course, trial law, Professor Larkin's class.
He was bare, wasn't he?
He nearly convinced me to choose another profession.
Yeah, I remember him saying, Ms. Gray, there are several areas of the law in which you'll never have to enter a courtroom. I suggest you gravitate in that direction. I guess he was wrong.
Looks that way. Well, as you both know, this case has serious and long-reaching implications. One child is dead, the other is convicted of murder and is serving a life sentence. What we have to determine is whether or not the parents of the murderer were cognizant of the boy's intentions and were in a position to stop them. It's a volatile situation, and I'd like to keep the showmanship down to a minimum.
I'm sure we're all on the same page.
A certain amount of emotion is inevitable.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. But facts will determine this case, not feelings. That's what the jury's going to hear. I don't want anyone turning this into Andrew Lloyd Webber.
I promise not to sing.
Fine. Let's pick a jury.
V6 engine. Listen to that purr.
Very nice.
So, Mrs. Gray, what do you think?
We'll need something more economical. Peter, we like this car. Dad would have hated it.
He would. Why?
It's a gas guzzler. It gets 22 miles a gallon. You don't need an engine this big. I have a question. Why am I here?
Because I care what you think.
I think that you should buy this car.
It has an in-dash CD player.
Mother, you do not choose a car because of its accessories. What's the torque on this thing anyways?
Torque? Is that important?
Could you excuse me for a minute? Peter, what are you doing? Do you have any idea how long it took me to get Mom to even consider buying a new car? She needs a buying plan. She's got a buying plan. She's gonna look at cars and she's gonna buy one. She called me for help. Did you expect me to take the morning off from work to keep my mouth shut? Look, Mom is gonna resist buying anything because that car is her last connection to Dad. What are you talking about? Mother is not sentimental. She's a realist like me. I mean, this is a major financial decision. We're not shopping for dog shampoo.
You two stop bickering. It's embarrassing.
Well, we're just talking.
Peter, go over there and deal with that sales girl. Something about her scares me. I think it's her teeth. Honey, I know he annoys you. Just let him do his thing. He left work for this.
You know what? It's fine. Just stop calling me for help if you don't want it.
Where are you going?
Let me ask you a few questions. Do you own firearms, Mr. Nebbit?
No, sir.
Have you ever owned a gun?
No. I'm opposed to guns.
You belong to any anti-gun organization?
Objection. Jurors' political affiliations are not relevant.
Sustained. Counsel, approach the bench.
What about lobbies?
Mr. Reams, I asked you to approach.
Yes, Your Honor.
I have a 6-year-old. I don't fall for the deaf routine. I'm warning you.
With all due respect, my clients are in a trial because they own a gun. I need to put these jurors in some kind of context.
With all due respect, your clients are on trial because their son used that gun to shoot his girlfriend in the face. Stop grandstanding. Move on from this line of questioning. We have a lot of jurors to get to.
I want this juror disqualified.
Motion denied.
He'll never be impartial.
I am not going to let you waste my time by filling the jury with a bunch of NRA members. Now move on.
Your Honor, since this is your first time presiding over the voir dire process...
Finish that sentence and it could be your last in this courtroom.
Okay, ice cream.
Check.
Microwave popcorn.
Double check. You do realize how much this is costing?
Chanel had pedicures at her house.
At a sleepover?
And the lizard lady.
Wow, not at the same time, I hope.
I told everyone we could try your miracle bra. That's okay, right?
No, I don't want the sports package. What would I do with it? Can't I get the electric windows without the chrome wheels? What do the windows have to do with the wheels?
Hey, Mom, don't forget the girls will be here after lunch.
Of 16-year-old Jeanette Harper, correct?
Yes.
2 weeks before the murder, was your son suspended from school?
Yes.
For what reason?
He got in a fight in gym class. No one was seriously injured.
The other boy had 8 stitches in the face, I think.
Because he fell against the bleachers.
Josh also had some brushes with the law, resulting in 1 arrest.
It was a traffic violation.
Do you own any firearms?
My husband does.
Where does he keep them?
Locked in a cabinet in the basement. He has the only key.
Was it your husband's gun that Josh used to murder his girlfriend?
Yes.
Any idea how he got it?
Objection. Calls for speculation.
Sustained.
Prior to the murder, did anyone ever recommend that your son get counseling or therapy?
Yes, one of his teachers.
What did you do?
I answered all these questions at the other trial.
That was different. That was a murder trial.
Counsel, approach the bench. The jury is well aware that her son is a murderer. You can stop hammering that home.
I think it's an important element.
I asked you to watch the showmanship. You used the word murder 7 times in the last minute. You're trying to get this woman to lash out and show her own temper. Maybe the jury will think like mother, like son.
That's an interesting angle. I'm afraid I didn't think of it.
Like hell you didn't. Now stop it.
Mrs. Spellman, did you take the teacher's advice and send your son to therapy?
No.
Why not? Why not?
He didn't seem that bad to us. He didn't seem that troubled.
Okay, what is the difference between the L series and the K series? I don't know what a 3.2 liter is. When did cars switch to the metric system?
We're bored.
That's funny, I'm not.
Can you take us bowling?
No.
How about the arcade?
Sweetie, I don't even have a car that works right now. You have 5 friends. You can't entertain yourself? Your mother's new laptop computer's in her room. Why don't you go and play with that?
We already did. I think Chanel broke it.
Sweetie, I really am busy. May I call you back?
Miss Harper died from a gunshot wound to the face. The bullet entered the frontal lobe and death would have been immediate. The shot was fired from a .38 caliber pistol.
A pistol which was registered to Mr. Frank Spellman.
Objection. Dr. Atkinson is a medical examiner, not a gun salesman.
Overruled.
I withdraw the question. Your Honor, at this point, I would like to submit Exhibit A. Photos taken by the coroner at the scene of the crime.
Approach the bench.
Your Honor, no one is on trial for murder here. Josh Spellman has already been convicted. Why should we ask the jury to examine the evidence of the crime?
The defendant's demeanor prior to the act and the rage with which he committed the crime are arguably relevant to the parents' knowledge of his behavior. Let me see the photos again. Well, it's a tough call, but I will allow these.
Your Honor,
Wait.
I think we're ready to revisit the idea of a settlement.
Hi. Are you busy?
Yeah, I'm writing.
Oh. Can you do a favor for me?
I'm working, Mom.
Oh, okay. You go work.
What?
It's not a big favor. It'll take 2 hours. I'll pay you for it.
No, wait, you don't have to pay me for it. What? No, is it something to do with the car?
Sort of.
No, you cannot do this to me.
You know, I hate to ask you, but I couldn't very well say no to Amy given her circumstances.
She's not the only one with circumstances.
If I don't get a car soon, you both will end up driving me around. Now, which is worse?
Our offer's what it's always been, $200.
That is an insult. The Harpers feel that their daughter's life is worth more than their house. We're asking $2 million, and that's a bargain. You can't meet us halfway.
Not even close. I just don't see that much evidence against my clients.
I've got a grieving mother who's going to go on the stand and obliterate the evidence. You give me a decent number, I can stop that from happening.
Mr. Collins, we are not going to discuss this trial as if it were a chess game. If you are betting on me allowing some melodrama for the jury, you might want to look at that number again.
Come on, you know that offer's ridiculous. Don't let him intimidate you.
You are ethically obligated to take that offer to your clients.
Amy, I'm telling you, they've given me a bottom line. The answer is no. I meant to say Judge Gray.
You meant to say Amy. Try that in court and I'll cite you. Gentlemen, it looks to me like this case is going to the jury.
Mrs. Harper, how did your relationship with your daughter change the past year?
This past winter, she met Josh Spellman. He seemed like a nice boy at first, but I started noticing things.
What kind of things?
She would say, if Josh calls, tell him I'm not here. She was nervous. Jeanette wanted to break up with him, but she said that he had said he would see her dead first.
What was your reaction to these threats?
Though he tried talking to his parents, they were very defensive.
Did they offer to talk to Josh?
Well, they said they would. I don't know if they did.
Mrs. Harper, I know you feel that there's no way to explain the loss of a daughter to someone who hasn't experienced it, but we need to try. Can you tell us your reaction when you found your daughter dead?
At first, complete shock, but at the same time, I felt that I should have seen it coming.
Why?
Because Jeanette was so frightened. She was my only child. We wanted to have more, but we couldn't. I worried about her so much when she was little. And then I decided to go to a place where I believe there was an angel looking out for her. I just had to believe she couldn't be harmed.
She died in your home, did she not?
Our former home. They had a fight out in the driveway. Apparently, Josh lost his temper and he attacked her. And she fought him off. And then he went to his car and got the gun.
Is there anything else you'd like the jury to know about your daughter?
She was very funny. She liked to laugh. She was always telling jokes. When Jeanette was around, there was always laughter in the house. And then one day, it just stopped.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examine Mr. Reams.
I have no questions, Your Honor.
The SUV has 18 cubic feet of cargo space. That may come in handy.
I don't see myself in an SUV. I'd be afraid I might run over someone.
Well, the women at the office have them. They swear by them.
It's not like I have a lot of passengers.
You might, one day.
True, if those fertility drugs kick in, we could fill up that SUV in one go.
Can we change the subject?
You brought it up.
Look, you two, if I may offer an opinion, being angry at each other is not the fastest way to get pregnant. You need to take a meditation classes or something.
Mother, you never had infertility problems. You don't know.
I'm not infertile. I have fertility issues.
All I'm saying is that it hurts me to see you both so tense.
We're not tense.
We're here to talk about cars, so let's just do that.
That's it. I'm gonna go look for them.
Well, sweetheart, it's only 6 o'clock.
Yeah, still, they should have been here by now.
Well, you know Vincent. He probably thought of someplace creative to take them.
Mom, I asked you to take care of them.
But he wasn't busy.
It's one afternoon. That's all I asked. I'm in the middle of this trial, and I am redlining in the all-I-can-handle meter.
Vincent is good with kids.
Well, that's not the point.
They're here.
See? No harm done.
Thank God.
I think.
Where have you been?
Video King, Pizza Fantasia, and Candy Palace. My van is now unfit for dogs.
I'll give you my wet dry vac. It's amazing.
Can't wait. How goes the car search?
We're closing in.
I'll be outside chiseling cheese off my odometer.
Oh, wait. I said I'd pay you.
I said no.
What have I done now?
Hey, you need a hand?
What gets glitter out of carpet?
Replacing the carpet. I'm sorry you had to go through this.
But the girls have decided that you're the coolest guy on Earth. It was neck and neck between you and Leonardo. Chanel was the swing vote.
Well, it's nice to know I accomplished something today.
Well, Mom was overwhelmed, and I was wrong to dump it on her. Don't be mad. You really are mad?
I lost a whole afternoon of writing. It was my day off from dog dipping. I needed the time.
Well, Mom didn't know that.
Yeah, she did. She doesn't care. She doesn't think writing is real work. If you're not in an office with a tie and a deadline and a boss breathing down your neck, you're wasting your time.
I don't think Mom feels that way.
Okay. No, you're right. She doesn't feel that way. I got most of the candy out of my van. I'm taking off.
Okay. What?
I don't know. Thanks for helping out.
I offered to pay you.
It's not about money.
I believe I already thanked you.
No, actually, you didn't.
Thank you, Vincent. I didn't realize it was such a huge imposition.
It was.
Look, I was busy dealing with the car business. You weren't doing anything, so I assumed
I was writing, Mom.
you can go back home and write now, can't you?
There's this concept known as concentration, train of thought.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I'm sorry that I interrupted you.
Thank you.
But it's not as if I haven't helped you out on a number of occasions.
Well, I do not want to start keeping score with you.
No, I think that's exactly what you want to do. I'm on trial for my parenting skills. I wasn't a perfect mother, but my family has always been top priority.
Yeah, I know that.
Really, you know that? Is that why you call me up daily saying, Mom, thanks for everything you've done for me? Is that why you sent me flowers on Mother's Day or even a card?
I took you to lunch.
Let's just drop it.
You have any idea how long James Joyce worked on Ulysses before he sold it?
No, I don't.
12 years.
I've heard Fabio finish his books in a week and a half. Of course, I've also heard he doesn't really write them.
It took him 12 years to finish a draft.
Well, I hope he got a nice paycheck.
You know how he described the process? He said, today was a good day. I wrote a sentence.
No wonder it took him 12 years.
Never mind.
I am sorry that I presumed you'd do me a favor. It won't happen
It's not
again.
the point. The point is, you don't take my work seriously.
Of course I do.
Okay, good night.
Vincent? Vincent, it pains me to say this to you, but if you take yourself so seriously, why do you spend your time washing dogs?
Yeah, I have to pay the bills.
Pay the bills with your writing.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that.
You won the pushcart prize. I understood how important that was. You're the one who walked away from it all.
Let's not go there, okay?
I do take you seriously. I take all of my children seriously. But I always thought you had the most potential, and I think you're squandering it.
I'm squandering? How am I? Because my success is not happening on your schedule? Writing is a mysterious thing. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know where it goes when it goes away. It's fragile. I'm trying like hell to hang on to it, but I can't do that if you won't respect my choice of profession and give me some distance.
Fine. Take all the distance you need.
Mrs. Spellman, can you give us some kind of idea of what kind of a boy Josh is from a parent's perspective?
Well, he was always quiet and very creative. He used to spend a lot of time drawing, and he was very good. We had his pictures all over the house.
Can you tell us more about Josh's so-called brush with the law?
He got a speeding ticket, and when they ran the license plate, there were several unpaid parking tickets, so they arrested him.
For parking tickets?
And they weren't even his. They belonged to my husband.
Did the police drop the charges?
Yes.
This teacher who recommended therapy, did he or she say that Josh seemed particularly violent?
No. He said Josh was a good kid with a bad temper. He said that it wasn't unusual in boys his age, but that it might help for him to try therapy.
You decided against that?
Yes. For the moment, we were still discussing it.
Were there any other signs that Josh was disturbed?
We caught him smoking a couple of times. We had fights about that.
Smoking tobacco?
Yes.
Did his smoking lead you to suspect that he might kill someone?
Objection.
Sustained. Careful, Mr. Reams.
Did Josh ever talk to you about his problems?
Rarely. You know, boys. Our other son never talked about problems either.
And how old is your other son?
He's 19. He's a sophomore at Dartmouth.
Did Josh talk to you about Jeanette?
He told me he thought he was in love with her. I was so surprised because he never told me things like that. His father and I were so glad for him. Josh had never had a girlfriend. He was shy around them. And, I mean, he dated, but nothing serious. I thought maybe Jeanette was different. You know, he sure acted like it was different. He showed me her picture in the yearbook. He talked about getting a part-time job so that he could afford to take her out more often. He seemed so hopeful. See, that was the thing. He seemed better because of Jeanette. Why would we ever think he would hurt her?
Hey. Hey. Visiting hours are over, but I'm afraid I used my clout. Said I was on official business. How's it going? Oh, please, I don't want to talk about me.
Too bad, I do.
It's going well, I think. Defense rests tomorrow.
I look that good, huh?
No. I just want to see you back in court.
Yeah, me too. You know, I'm the one who's supposed to be scared here.
I'm not scared.
Don't take up poker, you lie like a nun.
No, the case is getting to me, I guess. I keep looking over at Josh Spellman's parents, like, how could you not have known? And on the other hand, the Harpers thinking that money is going to make up for the loss of their child. I don't think I'm being very objective.
No, you don't have to be as a person. Just as a judge.
I don't want to let you down. I mean, it's your case. It's your courtroom.
It's your decision. I gave you the case because I trust you.
Why?
Because you're compassionate.
I have to check my compassion at the door.
Says who?
Gotta think about the law, not the people.
Well, what do you think the law is for? When you uphold the law, you uphold the good of the people. Not just the people in your courtroom, all of them. Nobody loses.
I'm afraid of making a mistake.
Amy, look at me. Now, from where I sit, there is only one way to go. Be fearless.
Isn't it past your bedtime?
It's jury instructions.
Try not to rhyme. Johnny Cochran ruined that for everybody.
I'm almost through this thing, Ma. And I think I survived.
No matter what, somebody's going to appeal. You have to be sure the verdict stands. You don't want to get reversed your first time up.
You think the worst case scenario has not occurred to me?
Sorry. I anticipate. Used to drive your father crazy.
What about you? What are you doing up so late?
Calling a dealer in Arizona.
In Arizona?
No sales tax.
Yeah, plus you can see the Grand Canyon when you buy a car there. It's good thinking.
Dad bought my car in Tucson, for your information. He got a very good deal.
Can't drive memories to work, Ma. Sooner or later, you're gonna have to let go.
You think I'm being sentimental.
Of course you are. That's why you're procrastinating. Teddy bought you that car. It reminds you of how he used to take care of you.
Actually, it reminds me of how cheap he was.
How can you say that?
Because it's true. Every single bump and scratch reminds me of what a miserly grouch that man was.
You don't mean that.
Well, he was a very good man, but he could squeeze a dollar till it squeaked.
Why, I had no idea.
I protected you from his faults.
Well, so if it wasn't about Daddy, then why can't you buy a new car?
Because I've never done it before. Your father and I had an agreement. My work was more emotionally involving than his, so he handled all the major household decisions. It was fine. I never cared what car I was driving. It's not that I'm learning about cars, it's that I'm learning how to care about cars.
You miss him?
All the time. But that's the deal I made. I married for love, so I knew my heart could get broken.
You think he was happy?
I think he probably wished he'd done something else for a living. Insurance wasn't exactly his passion.
What was?
I'm not sure he ever knew.
I remember when I started law school, he said to me, if I had to do it over again, I wouldn't have had a 9-to-5 job.
He was very proud of you.
Yeah. I think he would have been proudest of Vincent, though. For going a different way. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it is now my duty to instruct you on the law that applies to this case. This has been an emotional trial, and it may be tempting for you to vote with your hearts. I must instruct you not to do that. Sympathy is an important virtue, but it is not justice. To find the defendant negligent, you must find that the plaintiff has proven that the defendants had knowledge of their son's violent nature and of his intention to harm the deceased. If they did know and were in a position to prevent him and did not, they would be negligent. If you find the defendants negligent, then and only then can you go on to consider damages. This is a civil trial, so beyond a reasonable doubt does not apply. It's a preponderance. One piece of evidence in either direction would make your decision. But remember, we are talking about evidence and not emotion. It is not your job to put yourself in someone else's shoes and feel their feelings. It is your job to remember that reason is always the best companion to justice.
Mom, what's wrong?
Nothing is wrong. Can we talk?
I'm a little busy.
Vincent, I'm sorry about yesterday. You're right about my attitude. I haven't taken your writing seriously because I don't understand it. It doesn't seem like work to me, but that's my problem. Your father had a different way of seeing things. God rest his soul. Here, I brought you something. Go ahead, open it.
It's $8,000.
It was going to be a down payment for a new car, but I don't need a new car. A used car will be fine. I'd like you to use that money to quit dog grooming and concentrate on your writing.
Mom, I don't want your money.
Don't be silly. That money can buy you a lot of time.
I'm doing fine. I don't want your money.
Then what do you want?
I don't want anything.
This could be a nice safety net.
I don't want safety. That's what you want from me. I chose something else. I chose a hard job with a lot of risk. Stop expecting it to translate into something that looks like Peter's world or Amy's world. This is mine. Just let me have it.
When Daddy died, you were a boy. And you were the only one that was left at home with me. I felt I had to protect you from everything. And I felt I had to depend on you for strength. I think I did too much of both. I don't mind letting you go. I just don't want to lose you for good.
It's not gonna happen.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. Now I'm leaving. You know what Dorothy Parker said about writing? It's the art of applying the ass to the seat.
Goodbye.
If you would read your decision out loud in the courtroom, please.
We, the jury, find the defendants negligent and liable for the death of Jeanette Marie Harper.
Have you also decided on damages?
We award the plaintiffs damages of $10 million.
Did you say $10 million?
Yes, ma'am.
Does the defense want to poll the jurors?
No, Your Honor.
Well, then on behalf of the courtroom, I would like to thank you and excuse you. No, I can't. I am a parent. I can't imagine this kind of loss. It's heartbreaking. But when I come in this courtroom, I am a different kind of parent. I have to be fair, not to individuals per se, but to the greater good. I am the guardian of the law, and no one can do that job but me. I understand you did your best. I know that you tried not to let the emotion get in the way, but I don't think you succeeded. I heard no evidence concerning parental knowledge or failure to control, none. Josh had a bad temper, so do I. He smoked cigarettes. An alarming amount of teenagers do when they don't commit murder. His brushes with the law involved unpaid parking tickets. I did not see evidence of a deeply disturbed boy. Sometimes things really do escape our knowledge and understanding. Maybe this is one of those things. The fact that the jury elected to find for the plaintiff and increase the award by such a degree proves to me that the jury ignored the facts of this case as well as my instructions. I cannot let this verdict stand. I am forced to set aside the verdict and enter judgment for the defendants. These two for me and two for the upstairs clerk's office. You know what that is?
Excuse me. Your Honor, we just want to thank you.
Don't.
Judge Gray, this is outrageous. It's unheard of for a judge to dismiss a jury finding.
It's unusual. It's not unheard of.
You know I'm going to appeal. I won't even touch another case until I do.
I never doubted it.
What I'll be forced to say is that your inexperience in this area interfered with the proper findings.
Say whatever you have to say, Mr. Collins.
And that there might have been a personal component. You were against me from the start, and you know it.
You want to know the truth? I was for you the whole way. I wanted you to find a way to make the Spellmans accountable. Like anyone else, I want to believe the fairy tale, that this kind of tragedy is foreseeable. It would help me sleep better at night. I found against you because you didn't prove your case. And something else, I happen to remember something Professor Larkin said about you. He said you had a genius for theatrics, and it would take you as far as you wanted to go, until you hit a judge who was smarter than you. Well, guess what just happened?
It's an engine with doors. What do I care?
I like it, Ma. It's good.
Vincent, why don't you take it for a test drive?
Why me?
Well, you know about these things.
Come on, Uncle Vincent, let's go.
This is nuts. I don't need a new car.
Change is good, Ma.
You ever read this book?
Ulysses. Yeah, it's great.
I'm having a few problems.
Oh, keep going. It gets better.
Did you do okay with your jury trial?
I threw out the verdict.
Amy, where did you get the nerve to do that?
From you. You're the one who told me to trust my instincts.
Did I do okay with you? Mother-wise. You don't have to say yes.
I wasn't gonna. I'm gonna say, give me a break. Hold my hand. I don't have a hand. Hold my jacket.
Why do you have to feed all the judges? Don't they have kitchens?
So judges' breakfast is a kind of a party. It's a get-together. We do it once a month, and today I'm the hostess. Is that cool?
Yeah. How come it's okay to have a muffin for breakfast but not a cookie?
Because muffins are breakfast food and cookies aren't.
Says who?
The American Muffin Association. Come on, let's go.
Do you believe in God?
Where did that come from?
I just wondered.
Yes, I do.
Me too.
Good. Let's go.
Do you pray?
Sometimes.
When?
I don't know. When I'm on an airplane. Can we wait until we get into the car to talk about this?
Okay. Do you believe in heaven?
Sweetie, here's the thing. God and heaven and prayer are all very complicated ideas that I'm happy to talk about when I'm not standing in the middle of the street holding a box of muffins. Tonight, when I get home, we'll have a long talk about it. Okay?
Okay.
Now let's go.
Where do babies come from?
Move!
Judge Gray, this should start winding down in 10 minutes or so. I'm not refilling the coffee.
It's a good call, Bruce.
First up is a heroin mother.
Brief me.
Kid was born addicted to heroin. She's arguing the prenatal benefits of opiates.
How fun.
Excuse me.
Best time you've had since your last blind date?
Oh, God. My kingdom for a blind date right now.
Now, these things are generally much worse. You got a really big turnout. Everybody wanted to get a look at you.
Sorry, Judge Gray.
I know. We have to wrap this up.
Your docket has changed.
No heroin, Mother?
Everything's postponed. You just got a special assignment.
From who?
Edwin Brooks, presiding judge.
When he just hands it down with no warning? What does that mean?
Means it's a case nobody wants.
Susie Nixon? Ms. Nixon?
Oh, Miss Gray. Good. You're not late.
I'm never late. It's a character flaw. Call me Maxine.
Have a seat. Hughes, kid needs to be snatched as soon as possible. I've already submitted one report, and the judge is waiting for a follow-up. Oh, it's Judge Fowler. He usually sees things our way.
Our way?
I'm not a big fan of letting children suffer, and I hope you agree.
Actually, I think it should be a spectator sport. Part of the Summer Olympics, maybe. Ms. Nixon, I've been a social worker for 28 years. I think it's safe to say I've devoted my life to the welfare of children.
Oh, I didn't mean to offend you. It's just that our generation feels that we have to make up for decades of letting children down. And since the child abuse laws only came into being sometime in the 60s, we really
I was around then, when the states enacted mandatory reporting. I testified before Congress.
Wow, I had no idea. Well, I'm certainly not in a position to give you guidance.
We got cedar wood. We got 9-inch nails. We need screws.
Why are we here? This place is boring.
I told Grandma I'd build her some cedar closets.
Is she paying you?
Family doesn't pay. They make you pay if you say no. Screws. Where are the screws?
Mommy doesn't let me say that word.
It's okay in this context.
What's a context?
When you're talking about hardware, you can say screws.
When can't you say it?
You see that guy down there in the red apron? His name is Dwayne. Go ask him where the screws are.
Fathers are getting younger all the time.
I know, that's my niece. I just picked her up from school.
Are you good at this stuff?
Kid stuff?
No. This.
Oh, well, yeah, I can pick an electric drill out of a lineup.
What about a glue gun?
Here you go.
Okay, I'm an idiot.
People tend to dissociate in these places. It's normal.
Thank you.
What are you gluing?
Boxes. I sell them.
There's a market for boxes?
Well, I make them. Hand-carved, painted, decoupaged. People want them for some reason.
You're an artist.
So they tell me. I'm Chris Osborne.
Vincent Gray.
And what do you do, Vincent Gray, when you aren't in hardware stores?
I'm a writer.
What do you write?
Fiction, mostly.
Anything I might have read?
I doubt that.
No, I don't read much these days. You're probably ridiculously famous, and I should be embarrassed.
Hey, good job. Lauren, this is Chris.
Hi.
Hi, Lauren. You have a nice uncle.
I know, but he ought to be married by now.
His grandma.
I might give you a call. I think I have a job for you. Are you in the book?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the deal. They call him the Saint Boy. Real name is Thomas Bell, 10 years old. Mother was 9 months pregnant when she was killed in a car accident. Baby was delivered on site, technically dead. He was revived, but has been in a vegetative state ever since. He has never spoken or moved or responded to outside stimuli. His maternal grandmother has raised him since birth.
They can't do this to me, can they?
The boy is supposed to perform miracles. People come from everywhere to touch him, be healed by him. It's creating a circus atmosphere in the neighborhood, not to mention questionable press.
Yeah, but where's the evidence of abuse?
His doctor, with whom he has several monthly visits, has expressed concerns. The constant exposure to the public is undermining his health. Also, evidence of stigmata, bleeding from the hands and feet, exhibiting wounds of Christ.
Oh, my God. This doesn't happen in Hartford. It happens in other places.
They're filing the petition even as we speak. You're presiding.
Well, can't somebody stop this? The Attorney General can't want this case.
Wrong. Charges are coming directly from Victor Pascal's office.
They are. Well, this stinks. They're giving it to me because I'm the only judge who can't throw it back in their faces. Taking on the Catholic Church and the Constitution. Do they have anything bigger in their bag of tricks? You got any thoughts on this, Bruce?
Just one. I'm glad I'm not you.
Is it true that he's been known to cure people?
Is there evidence of a stigmata?
Is it true that you've only been a judge for a month?
Excuse me. Report's been calling all morning. No, we can't comment.
How did the press find out I'm the presiding judge?
Beats me.
Really?
What's that supposed to mean?
The AG's office can't talk to the press. I'm hermetically sealed, and you're the only other person who knows.
Are you trying to accuse me of something?
I'm just wondering how it got leaked.
I hope you would trust me a little more than that.
Trust you? See, the tricky thing about trust is it requires actually knowing a person. You have insisted on this professional distance. There are rumors that judges were actually close to their CSOs.
What do you want to know?
Anything? Your middle name, your marital status, your birthday, your favorite ice cream. Whether you're for me or against me.
I worked for no less than 5 judges for the last 2 years. Did you call them and ask about me? Did you do your homework?
Yeah. They were all men.
My opinion of you has very little bearing on my job. I take my work seriously, and I play by the rules.
Well, thanks for telling me.
Calvin, September 1st, single, lactose intolerant. And I didn't talk to anyone.
Hi, Mrs. Oakes. I'm Maxine Gray from DCF.
What happened to Susie?
Susie got tied up in court, so I'm following up for her.
I was hoping we were finished with all this.
Hi, Ashley.
Why don't you go watch TV? This is all a big mistake.
Ashley's teacher, Mrs. Swanson, is concerned about her weight and her eating habits.
Mrs. Swanson is at least 20 pounds overweight herself. She can stand to watch her own eating habits. As you can see, I'm a slender person. Ashley, obviously, got my genes.
Mrs. Swanson says that Ashley refuses to eat her lunch and criticizes her classmates about their fat intake.
Let's be honest. We live in a country where self-control is considered extinct. Those kids bring nothing but processed foods to school. Saturated fats, empty carbs.
Mrs. Swanson says because of her eating disorder,
Does she like Barbies?
Yes, as a matter of fact, she does. Do you?
I'm not allowed to play with them. Mommy says they have an unrealistic body type.
I see. You know, I'd like to talk about something else. I'd like to talk about what you had for lunch today.
A salad. It was good.
Lettuce, cucumbers, carrots?
Dressing on the side. Dressing has a lot of calories.
I see.
Because of the oil. But we did some sit-ups, so we burned it off.
All rise.
Oyez, 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 the Honorable Superior Court.
Let's do the short version.
Be seated.
Before the case was assigned to you, the presiding judge heard a motion and made the ruling that the case was open to the public.
Oh, really? Guys, we're revisiting that motion. Take your complaints to the Supreme Court. So DCF has filed a petition stating that several mandatory reporters have alleged abuse in the Thomas Bell case, and the department is seeking custody for the child.
Your Honor, my name is David Trask. I'm attorney for the grandmother, Mrs. Mila Bell.
Yes, I know who you are. But DCF is the moving party, so we'll start with AAG Cutler.
Thank you, Your Honor. While we respectfully acknowledge the extraordinary circumstances of this case, we at this time would like to submit that the child is comatose. He is incapacitated and therefore cannot have consented to his current treatment.
Objection. Your Honor, the case against Thomas Bell goes into the area of freedom of religion.
Yeah, I assure you we will get there.
Furthermore, we vigorously deny that any abuse has occurred. This petition should never have been issued. The matter should be dismissed.
You will have every opportunity to make that argument. Go ahead, Mr. Cutler.
The people contend that the child is in a vulnerable state, and his grandmother's enthusiasm in presenting him as a child saint only exacerbates his condition. Your Honor, all else aside, the child is sick. He's in a coma, and the constant exposure to outside individuals only serves to make the situation worse.
Yeah, I've read the petition. Tell me something new.
At this time, we request that Your Honor make a visit to the child.
I strongly object.
No, I don't think that's a good idea. Since the argument is that Thomas has had too much exposure.
I don't see how this case can be tried fairly if you don't have the opportunity to view the child in his current circumstances. He cannot be moved, so it stands to reason that the court should go to him.
Your Honor, this is an unnecessary violation of the boy's privacy. He's a 10-year-old boy, and he's not well.
And yet you have no problem with the grandmother putting him on display for strangers.
Those are religious people. They are respectful.
What am I, a Visigoth?
Then Your Honor agrees that the visit is unavoidable.
No, I don't agree with that. I have already appointed a medical investigator, and that should be sufficient.
Your Honor, squeamishness aside.
Excuse me.
It's not easy to face this head on.
Mr. Cutler, you are so out of line.
I apologize.
I'm not sure that's enough.
Then let me just humbly say, I think this is very important.
Mr. Cutler, my hesitation has to do with the fact that once we leave this courtroom, we are exposing ourselves to the public. And it is vital that Thomas be protected from any further exploitation.
Measures can be taken, it can be managed.
All right. We'll schedule a court-appointed visit to the child. All interested parties should attend. However, the press is absolutely excluded from this excursion.
The court will note my strenuous objection.
I'll even underline strenuous.
Vincent, you're on time.
Should I have been late?
No, I was just painting and I forgot to look at the clock. So come on up.
Thanks. Oh, wow. These must be some boxes you make.
Now, this is the house my first profession paid for.
Which was?
I was a fabric designer. A couple of my patterns caught on.
Any fabrics I might have seen?
You heard of Paisley? No, it's just a trendy look a couple of designers picked up. But I stopped doing it because I got bored. That's my disease. Coffee?
Sure. Did you do that?
Yeah, a long time ago.
During your Mark Rothko phase?
You actually know about art?
I minored in art history.
Really?
Yeah. My mom thinks it's because she wore elastic pants when she was pregnant with me. Cut off the blood supply.
Okay, so here's the deal. I'm starting a catalog to sell my boxes and other stuff, and I need someone to write witty, descriptive blurbs.
I majored in blurbs.
I've checked around, and $1 a word seems fair.
Great. I'll be verbose.
So you'll do it?
Sure.
Or, I have another idea. We could just date. Okay, I'll go get dressed. We can start writing.
take him?
Let's keep moving. Mrs. Bell, I'm Bruce Van Nexel. We spoke on the phone yesterday.
I've been praying for you.
This is Judge Amy Gray. We have a court order.
Yes, I know. Come in. Dr. Meyer's already here. I would like to have a blessing before we begin.
No, that won't be necessary.
I'm afraid I require it.
Mrs. Bell, I understand this is a difficult situation for you, but we're here on court business. I'd just like to see your grandson.
No one sees Thomas without the blessing of the church.
We have the blessing of the court.
Well, I'll take you in, but just you.
All interested parties have to be present. Only the doctor will examine him.
But Thomas doesn't know you. You're strangers.
This won't take long. I promise.
Child is a 10-year-old male, has been in a persistent vegetative state since birth. The child appears to be clean, well-nourished.
Could you refer to him by name?
Thomas's pulse and respiration are within normal limits. He has slight rashes on both arms and facial area, consistent with prolonged confinement to bed. His hair has been pulled out in places.
Caused by?
My guess? People wanting to take home a souvenir. There are abrasions on both palms. The dermis is somewhat macerated.
What does that mean?
Some kind of wound. It's moist, which means it's been recently bandaged.
How recently?
Don't know, but there's also old scar tissue. These marks are being inflicted, and not by God.
Poor little boy. You cannot touch him. You have not been blessed.
So tell me what you got.
I visited Mrs. Oakes and her daughter. Things are plenty strange in that household. Have you inquired about the father's interest in obtaining custody?
He's a salesman, he travels a lot, plus he's a teensy little problem with cocaine.
Well, there goes that.
If we hop to, we can get the petition on Judge Fowler's desk tomorrow, and we can have the kid in foster care by this weekend.
I can see that her mother has some strange issues with food, and she's inflicting them on the daughter. Personally, I'd like to take the kid home and get a couple steaks in her.
Tell me about it.
She's underfed, but she's not starving. Removing her from the mother's care is an extreme reaction. I'm recommending mandatory counseling for mother and child and follow-up visits through DCF.
Look, I have an exhausting schedule. I need you to work with me, not against me.
We can't start taking children because their parents are strange. Where would it end?
Well, I can't let you embarrass this department with this sentimental stunt.
Sentimental? Allowing a child to remain in the custody of her mother is sentimental?
It is when it goes against common sense. Look, I have identified an excellent foster family. They're ready to take her.
Is your loyalty to the foster family or to the child? Who are you working for?
Look, if this whole thing is about you trying to get your position back as supervisor, I assure you it's taken.
Don't be ridiculous. I don't want your job. I've had it. It's overrated.
I want to take this case back.
I'm a state-certified social worker. You can't just dismiss my finding.
Don't tell me what I can do.
You are wrong to take that child from her mother. I won't allow it.
I'd like to see you try to stop it.
Well, stick around. You might learn something.
Grandmother is compensating. Making her kid insane is her way of making up for the loss of her daughter.
Okay, but what's the harm? I mean, the child isn't conscious.
We don't know what he's feeling. And the grandmother inflicts wounds on him to make his sainthood more credible.
Come on, you can't prove that.
What, the stigmata is real? Come on, don't go nuts on me.
No, here is the question. Is the abuse serious enough to grant an OTC?
His grandmother took him on tour across country last year. Thomas got pneumonia and nearly died.
Well, 200 people claim to have been cured by him. What? On the record. Greta, are you telling me that these things don't happen? Even the doctors say prayer works. They don't know why, but it does.
Fine, but I'm supposed to divorce all that from the situation. I'm supposed to see him as a child and not a saint.
Yeah, fine. But as a person, don't you ever want to embrace the mystery? Are you serious?
Oh, 3 in the morning? I'd love something to believe in. Especially when the chemo starts to kick in.
I'm so sorry.
Can I tell you a sick secret? In my darkest moments, I've thought about paying Thomas a visit. But I've chosen science over God. I am not always sure it was the right decision.
Hi, Mrs. Oakes. It would work out much better for me if you people would call first. I have an appointment with my trainer.
Is Ashley here?
No, she's at kindergarten.
Good. That gives us a chance to chat.
What's going on?
What's going on is that you are in danger of losing your daughter to DCF.
Why?
Because you refuse to feed her normally.
I'm sorry if my nutrition standards aren't the same as yours. That doesn't give you the right to take my daughter from me.
DCF can take a child anytime they feel that she's in danger.
These charges would never hold up in court.
Maybe not, but it would take at least 3 weeks for you to get a hearing, during which time your child would be in the care of strangers. Now, I am currently fighting your battle, and I'm on your side. But if you don't grow a brain between now and tomorrow...
Excuse
and
me.
get some help for your eating disorder...
I do not have an
and
eating
start feeding your child something besides lettuce and rice cakes, you are going to be the mother of a kid in foster care. If you can wrap your rock-hard, emaciated head around that concept, you might have a prayer.
You have crossed the line, lady.
Sue me.
The child's autoimmune system is under duress. His system lacks the benefit of normal exercise and regular growth patterns. Thomas's weakened body works overtime to fight the diseases and infections most people don't even notice. The prolonged exposure to the public is seriously undermining his health.
Thank you, Dr. Meyer.
Mr. Trask?
No questions for the doctor, Your Honor, but if it please the court, I'd like to call a rebuttal witness. I think we should hear from Anthony Ruggiero, the Archbishop of the diocese.
All due respect to Father Ruggiero, we're not here to debate the authenticity of the boy's sainthood.
This is a freedom of religion issue from where we're sitting, Your Honor, and we think it would be unfair to exclude the Archbishop's testimony. Also, please refer to him as Archbishop or Your Excellency.
All right. The court is listening. Your Excellency, what is the Church's position on this?
Your Honor, we are not directly involved in Thomas' situation, but we are concerned with any reported miracles. The official position of the Church is that people should pray for Thomas and not to him.
But do you consider him a saint?
Despite Thomas' popular nickname, there are no living saints. One can achieve sainthood only after death.
Oh. So saints are like angels?
No. Angels are completely different. The angels, Catholics believe, have never taken human form.
I see. Well, look who wasn't paying attention during a religion class. I am sorry.
It is a common mistake. The speculation is that Thomas is what we call a victim soul, one that was born to take on the pain and suffering of others.
Do you believe such people exist?
I believe they have existed. I think what we have to keep in mind is that Thomas inspires divine faith. And that in itself is healing. People are often cured by belief.
Can I say something?
Your Honor.
She's a party, Mr. Cutler. She has a right to be heard. Go ahead.
10 years ago, my daughter was taken from me. Her son, my grandson, was born dead. But then he was given back to me. At first, I didn't understand the purpose of it. Just lying there like that. He had no purpose. I couldn't understand what God was doing. But then the people started to come, and he healed them. I saw it happen. And that's when I knew that there was a plan and that there is a purpose to every life. This is Thomas's purpose. Please don't take it away. That's all.
code of judicial ethics precludes me from talking about this case. Yeah. A temporary custody hearing is scheduled. That's all I can say.
Looks like a charm. So does not answering.
Well, I can't just let it ring.
Learn.
Mommy, there's so many people.
Don't encourage them.
There must be 100 reporters out there. Did you see?
Yeah, I managed to notice them.
I counted 5 satellite news vans. I wonder where they get their electricity.
They've been following me around like a pack of dingoes.
Dingoes?
Thomas Bell means a lot to a lot of people. Nothing like this has ever happened around here.
Yeah, usually you need a passport and some malaria shots to have this kind of adventure.
Are you taking the Saint boy away from his grandma?
Sweetie, I can't discuss it.
Don't do that, she'll go to hell.
What?
Everybody says so.
Okay, let's eat.
Where's Vincent?
You said something about starting a freelance writing job.
It's the lady from the hardware store. He met her looking for screws.
So, is there anything to this Thomas Bell business?
Anything to it?
Yeah, people getting healed, visions of the Virgin.
I hear you can also buy locate.
This is not dinner table talk.
Is a 10-year-old comatose boy the messenger of God? Have we collectively lost our minds here? Let's talk about Area 51 next.
Well, that's a real place.
Okay. Fortunately, it is not my job to determine the degree of holiness, just the degree of abuse.
Amy, I think you're discussing it.
I don't want you to go to hell, Mommy.
Oh, sweetie, I'm not. I'm not. Damn it!
Let it go.
Aren't you tired?
No, tired is 1 a.m. The deadline for the short story competition is tomorrow. And you got a good opening paragraph.
You've been there?
I live there.
Did you ever win one of those competitions?
A long time ago, in college.
What was it called?
You wouldn't have heard of it.
Try me.
Pushcart.
You won the pushcart prize when you were in college. And then what?
Agent. First look publishing deal.
And then?
Inexplicable meltdown. I can't describe it. It's like I don't really like to think about it. Like 1 minute there I was, and the next it's somebody who looked like me. You don't want to hear this. I swear to God, it's like I lost myself. Like I misplaced myself. I left it in a bar or somebody's back seat.
So what'd you do?
I went to Europe for a year. Dropped out of my life. Picked grapes in the south of France. Got paid in bottles of Vin Ordinaire. It's French for crappy wine.
I wish I'd had an adventure like that.
No, you don't.
And in the courtroom behind me, Judge Amy Gray is expected this morning to hand down her ruling on the fate of a little 10-year-old boy who has come to be known as Saint Thomas Bell.
I tried calling you at home.
Yeah, I left early.
You know the Attorney General, Mr. Pascal?
Yes, of course. We met at my swearing in. Amy Gray.
Victor Pascal. Heard a lot about you. Well, to get right to it, we're pulling out of the Thomas Bell case.
Pulling out? How?
Just what I said. We decided not to pursue the petition.
Why?
The case is too ambiguous. The chaos the last few days indicates the people have spoken.
But I've already taken evidence. I was about to rule.
Don't even hint at how you were going to rule, Judge Gray. That I never want to know. Because if I do, well, it could appear that I influenced you.
Could the chaos you're referring to be the negative press that your office is receiving?
Careful, Judge Gray.
What makes you think I won't have my CSO file another abuse petition?
You could do that. My guess is that DCF would just screen it out. That's really all for now, Judge Gray.
Mr. Pascal, this was a bad move all around. You cannot interfere with people's lives if you don't have the courage of your convictions.
Are you under the impression that yours is a lifetime appointment?
No. But yours isn't either. And I could cite you for that.
Maxine, you and I go back a long way. I've always held your good judgment and dedication in the highest esteem.
Judge, I based my recommendations on 28 years' experience in DCF, and about 300 more raising my own children.
There is such a thing as protocol.
I was having trouble getting through to the woman.
The Department of Children and Families is under a lot of heat these days. No inappropriate physical contact.
I didn't touch her.
And no unnecessarily harsh language.
There's a fine line.
Rock-hard, emaciated head?
I'll apologize to Mrs. Oakes.
I think it's better you just stay away from her.
Yes, sir.
And we can forget about getting the child out of the house. Mrs. Oakes, not surprisingly, is suing the department. They're forced to lay low, and I hope she's the forgiving type.
Yes, sir.
That's all. Maxine. As if you aren't 3 steps ahead of me. You knew this was going to happen. You deliberately got that woman stirred up.
She wasn't scared enough.
I'd say you scared her. She asked for a restraining order. Do you realize you put your job in jeopardy?
Well, it's not my job if I'm not allowed to do it. We all act like foster care is the answer to our prayers. But kids get lost in that system years, and I think we need a hell of a reason to take them away from their parents.
Maxine.
I mean, by today's standards, I wouldn't be allowed to raise my basset hound.
Susie Nixon is radical, I know. But I am not. Have a little faith in the system, won't you? Or have you done it too long for that?
I hope not.
I hope not, too.
How do you like it? Chris?
Hi.
Hi. That's,
Your mom around?
your mom.
Never mind. Could you just tell her that I took the laptop and I'll bring it back on Monday?
And you are...
Oh, I'm her daughter, Lori.
I see. I'm Vincent.
Hi, Vincent. Coffee smells good.
Hey.
Hey.
I was just writing you a note. I gotta get going.
Oh, thought we'd work some more.
I can't. Today's bad. I met your daughter.
Lori? When?
She came and took the computer. Said she'd bring it back on Monday.
Little sneak. She knew I needed it for the weekend. So that's what happened.
But nothing happened. I just...
Realized how old I really am.
Of course not. I know, I'm being neurotic. Shallow, even.
Go on.
It's just, this whole thing started out kind of Sunset Boulevard, and suddenly it's The Graduate.
You want to go out with my daughter?
No, no. I want to go out with you. I think. But even though it doesn't look that way, my life is very complicated. I just don't know that this is the right time. I'm not sure I can do this.
Do what? Your life might be complicated, but this isn't.
Do you have to be so reasonable?
You're the one who's rationalizing.
I might have some time this weekend.
Okay.
Capping a long-running and controversial story, Thomas Bell, the so-called Hartford Saint, will remain in his grandmother's care. Superior Court Judge Amy Gray will allow the Hartford grandmother to maintain custody of comatose 10-year-old Thomas, who many believe to possess miraculous powers. Although the Department of Children and Families had previously charged the grandmother with behavior that endangered young Thomas's health, Judge Gray today ruled that the state would not intervene in the boy's care. And now let's hear from Paul about tomorrow's weather.
I thought I heard you. Congratulations on your ruling.
It wasn't my ruling. One of those unintentional leaks.
What happened?
AG's office withdrew the petition. They set me up, Ma. They wanted to do something, but they were afraid I might rule the wrong way. But they played both sides, and I got caught in the middle. That way I take the heat, and they don't.
Amy. It's politics. Was corporate law any different?
I expected this to be different. I was counting on it.
All I can tell you is you stick around long enough, you start to play their game even better than they do. The prodigal carpenter.
I'm gonna finish tonight.
You sleep in your own place last night?
Did you?
You get right down to the basement. Don't come back without details.
I gotta do something first, Ma.